This is a repair video on my Winegard antenna on my coach. What I found is that I lose signal occasionally on the antenna. If I raise the antenna to its full height, the signal goes away. Then if I lower it just a little bit, I get the signal back. So there's probably something going on with the coax. As well, when I turn the antenna right or left, sometimes it'll lose signal. So again, I think there may be something compromised in the coax. Well, one thing I did is when I was looking through, trying to figure out where everything was, is I opened up the cabinet and pulled this out a little bit. This is the coax going from the distribution panel all the way up through the roof and to the antenna. Now, one thing I discovered is that this coax is beige or kind of off-white, and the coax up on the top of the roof is gray, which means there's two different pieces of coax in there. So there's either a connector in line somewhere or a splice or something. Now, I don't know if this is intentional from the manufacturer to make it easier to replace the coax on the roof without having to come through and replace it inside, or if it was defective and they just did a shoddy job or whatever, but we'll find out. Now, the easiest way to access the antenna, I found, is to crank it all the way up, and then what we want to do is we want to turn this antenna 90 degrees like that, and now we want to lower it, and then it'll make it easier to access. So we're going to do that now, and then we'll go outside. Okay, as you can see, when you rotate the antenna 90 degrees and lower it again, it brings the antenna over the side of the coach, in which you can take a ladder and get right up to it. So we're going to climb up narrow right now and test it. Okay, so what I did is I disconnected the coax from the antenna and turned the distribution amplifier on, which brings 12 volts up to the through the antenna leads, or through the coax, and hooked that up to my voltmeter here. And when you do this, make sure that you don't short this out. Anyway, I'm showing 12 volts, 12.2 volts. Okay, so now when I got this on here, if I just move this coax around a little bit, you see it's changing the reading, and right there, see, there's 0 volts almost. So there's definitely a problem somewhere in here. So I suspect this is where the splice is, because you can definitely see this is gray, and the stuff downstairs is brown, tan. So, okay, I'm going to raise this antenna back up a little bit so I can work on this a little easier, and then we're going to first step is we're going to replace this coax. And as you see now, I mean, we're at 0 volts here, so I mean, this thing's quit working. Well, lo and behold, I actually see after taking this off there actually is a connector on here. But I think I'm just going to take the connector off, because it's fairly loose here. So I can probably get easily get the coax down into the inside of the cab, and I'm just going to rewire everything from the distribution source to the antenna. So I'm just going to remove this whole mess. Now, I do have a real nice little grommet I'll show you that I'm going to put on here that basically is left over from when we had our boat. And RG6 is lower loss, so that's what I'm going to use. Well, here's what I was talking about. This is the ferrule that I'm going to use, and I know for sure RG59 will fit in here. I'm not sure about RG6. As you can see, there's a little bit of a extra metal in here that can be drilled out, and then you got a little rubber grommet in here that goes over here, and when you tighten it down, it becomes a real solid tight fit. Okay, so I end up having to drill a little bit into this, because this RG6 is a little bit wider, but this is what's going to happen, and this is going to be a real nice tight fit. So I think this is going to be a tremendous improvement. Okay, one little trick I use here is I just use some tape and actually put a little piece of stick in here and tape these together to be used as a messenger, so when I pulled the old out, the new goes in, so it'll make it easier to feed the new coax through the tube here that the old was in. Well, some interesting developments here. This is RG59. You can see it's a smaller diameter, and this is RG6 going into coach. Also, this boot here that was covering that, it's supposed to be up here as a Winegard part. So I bought this used, so I can't tell who did it. This coach is 3 years old. It's a 2011 model. It's 2014 now. And we bought it in 2013, so I'm guessing that it was a dealer doing shoddy work. And you know, it's just typical of the RV industry. You know, these knucklehead morons just throw crap together long enough to get it out of the service bay, and they don't care if it, you know, fails within a year or so. Okay, what I used is this is clear. It's this repair tape. It's self-bonding silicone wrap, and it won't connect. It won't bond to anything but itself. And anyway, I wrapped this around in it, and I think it's going to make a better seal, or at least as good of a seal as what that boot would have done. So here we are. We got the coax replaced. Here's a nice little marine grade connector. The only thing is I think this is going to be something that replacing this coax may be a semi or biannual maintenance thing, because when you turn the antenna, it sure seems to want to, you know, the slack, you put enough slack in it, still seems to want to get pretty tight. So there's some flexing continuously in this thing, probably when it's going down the road too. So alright, that's enough for that, and we're going to have to go inside now. Although I'm going to put some goop on here, some lap sealant. Well, we got the new coax in and everything's working. Here we've got a TV channel. This ends the repair phase, and now I'm entering the project phase, and what I'm putting on is something called a Winegard Wingman, and I'll show you what that is. Well, here's a Winegard Wingman. It's about $30, and it just snaps to the base of the existing antenna without really having to use any connections or anything. So what we're going to do is we're going to put it on. Okay, so now to install this, we have to remove these 3 feet here, here, and here, and then we simply set this on here and then replace the feet, which is what I'm going to do now. Okay, to install this, what you basically do is put a screwdriver in there and then just push up, and then that locks it in place. Now make sure you get this thing on the right side. This should be on the opposite side of the boom, otherwise it won't raise and lower properly. Well, here it is, the antenna with the Wingman on it. And we were getting about 7 channels or so from this location before, and now we picked up a whole bunch of them on the UHF end, and we counted about 23 channels. So I think it works. And for, you know, under 30 bucks, I think it's probably a worthwhile investment. But when you do that, you may find, like I did, you have to do a little work on the coax and stuff, because it may not be up to snuff. So anyway, another repair / project done.